Hello, everyone. Gary Laubach and Mike Joseph. We get ready to take on the Princeton Tigers. It's a 1 o'clock game. It is at Powers Field at Princeton Stadium, and we certainly invite you to check that out on ESPN+. We're a little disappointed. We've carried the Leopards to their last wins for sure. The good win over Bucknell, Monmouth, Columbia. 3 good wins in a row, Mike. We are now at 4-1. And a team that is really, I think, as high as a football team's been in years. So I want to reflect back a little bit on the Bucknell game before we take a look at Princeton. And so I've got 5 takeaways, Mike. First of all, 3 of the 4 Patriot League honors players of the week are all Lafayette players. I think that's kind of unheard of.
Yeah, it is. To have we normally have one player on either side of the ball, but to have kind of almost a clean sweep and then have the Rookie of the Week, obviously, with Troy Bruce, but they are well-deserved. I mean, Dean DeNoble was fantastic. The way he spread the football around, the 4 touchdowns to 4 different guys. I mean, he's doing everything he needs to do. He's on the same page with the offensive coordinator. The offensive line is playing well, and then defensively to watch Billy Schaefer step up and make plays is no surprise. He's one of the best in the league. And then to get a special teams player like Troy Bruce, he did a great job with the punt block and obviously can run the ball as well from the backfield. So Lafayette's loaded up, and they're just trying to take each week at one game at a time, and I think that's what Princeton's going to be this week.
Billy Schaefer's number is particularly impressive, as Billy Schaefer in the ball game had 3.5 sacks, and all of those were in the first half except for the 1 half sack. 5.5 tackles for a loss, 9 tackles, and a forced fumble. Can't do much better than that. And Dean DeNoble with 4 touchdown passes. So Dean now has been the offensive player of the week the last 2 weeks. So he's on a real good roll, and good to see Troy doing what Troy Bruce does. The second thing I take away is 56 points. I went back and did a little research, Mike. We have scored 50 points. Well, we did it against Robert Morris in 2014. We did it again against Lehigh, and I enjoy saying that, at 2013. And then we put 56 up against Colgate in 09, 56 up against Holy Cross in 04. I'm not sure we can get used to that, but 42 first half points I couldn't check anywhere.
Yeah, the 42 in the first half was more impressive, and they did it without having a lot of turnovers. It wasn't like you had an interception return or a punt block for a touchdown. They did it offensively, and to score that many touchdowns, 8 touchdowns in a ball game, is just unbelievable. And again, that offensive line is gelling. They're doing a great job opening things up. I thought T.J. Jamuzio, the offensive coordinator, was at least a step and a half ahead of the coordinator, for the other team. I just thought he knew what he wanted to do. He was on the same page with the quarterback. They spread the football around. They ran it in situations where they could have thrown it, and they threw it on first down. They created second and shorts. Those are comfortable situations for a quarterback. They're comfortable situations for a coordinator, and John Troxell's got to be excited about the way his offense is producing. 56 points is not going to happen a lot, but 42 in the first half is overly impressive.
And the irony of that was we went 1, 2, 3 and out in our first possession. From that point on, they didn't stop us for the next 4 possessions. So a great effort by the Lafayette offense. 56 points in that ball game, 352 yards total offense. Certainly terrific. All right, I went back and looked at the defense. The defense without the Duke numbers. I mean, Duke is Duke just gave Notre Dame all they could handle, as they were ranked at that time number 7 or 12, somewhere around there. Defense without the Duke game. They've only given up 14.8 points a game, 54 yards rushing a game, 212 passing, and I think most of that is because we've gotten up on teams and they've had to pass. Those are amazing numbers. Take away Duke.
Yeah, they're impressive. They get after the quarterback, number one, so they make him uncomfortable in passing situations. They stop the run early and for first down. They create the second and longs. They're doing everything kind of by the book. All the analytics are being checked. All those boxes are being checked. And when you have 3 linebackers like we have that can run, you have a secondary, and you have a guy like Sekou White back there that can make up for maybe a mistake up front. Remember, they're still playing with 7 or 8 defensive linemen rolling through that are all young, but they're all stepping up and making plays. You know, sometimes you look and you say, well, I'm not sure if that was Vaughn, or was that Jalen Joseph, or was that Amir Crawley, or was it Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's making plays, so it's impressive with what they're doing. They still have improvement, which is scary because they're very good right now. But they have areas that they can improve. They got to keep the quarterback in the box a little bit better. We talk about that on Inside the Huddle, and we're going to have a big task this week with Blake Senstrom, who can run the ball, who can get out of the pocket, create things with his legs. You can't give him a seam. It's going to be important to be gap control up front. And again, contain is a little bit of an issue. And does Lafayette use Marco or Preston to spy the quarterback, which they've done in the past? So those are some of the things I'm looking at. But this is an impressive defense, and they need to keep it rolling because you know what? Next week, they got a bye week, so they can get healthy, and they can then do some self-scout and go back and look at some of the things that that other teams are looking at them. But this is an impressive group on both sides of the football, and you and I are the beneficiaries of enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah, what's more impressive than the defense already has 20 sacks on the season. The blitz package has been amazing.
Yeah, they come after the quarterback. They get there. You never know where they're coming from. It could be off the corner. You know, when Billy Schaefer lines up on the line of scrimmage, not a 2-point or in a 3-point, but in a 2-point stance, I mean, he's coming off the backside, and you almost have to turn the protection to him, or you have to chip him, or you can't handle him one-on-one. He's too fast. He dips his shoulder. He gets to the quarterback. His acceleration is unbelievable. And when you add him into that front four, it's a big difference.
Certainly is that. And the final point is we have now the best overall record in the Patriot League at 4-1. Obviously 1-0 in the Patriot League. There are other teams with that, a couple others. But this week, Holy Cross lost to Harvard. That was a little bit of a surprise. I want your reaction to that. And Fordham lost to Georgetown, and that was a big surprise.
Yeah, I was impressed with Georgetown's win. I thought Holy Cross, they turned the ball over way too much. I watched the football game when I got home. I don't get enough of football. I got to turn that game on. But Harvard was impressive. They can run the football. They can stop the run. And they made uncomfortable situations for Sluka. He turned the ball over way too much. They're going to blame it on that. They played at Polar Park, which was a great atmosphere. And then you look at the Georgetown side. Georgetown always steps up and plays big against somebody. Usually it's us. It's usually against us. But that's an impressive win. And it can only help Lafayette because now you're looking at a situation where it's going to be a dogfight coming down the stretch.
Yeah, no question about that. All right, let's take a look at Princeton. Princeton's a team that has dominated us. They've beaten us 12 consecutive times. Bob Sarace has been around for 10 of those years. Outstanding head coach. He's got 4 Ivy League titles. And they lead the series. Lafayette's only won 4 games out. 45-4-3 is the overall record between these two teams. Mike, I know you talk about this inside the huddle, but let's again talk a little bit about the two main guys. Obviously, the defense has to worry about quarterback Blake Stenstrom and John Volker, the running back.
Yeah, Volker's terrific inside. He's going to run the inside zone. He's got speed to get to the outside, so he's a little shifty. He was battling some injuries last year. He averages 88 yards a game. He's third in the Ivy League. But Senstrom's down the list, like 5th in the Ivy League in passing right now. The thing that concerns me about Senstrom is he doesn't have Josephus and he doesn't have Clase. Those two kids we talked about had 15 catches for 200 last year. And together they had, I think, 127 catches last year for 1,800 yards. I mean, they were amazing. They're gone, okay? A whole group of new guys. And what tells me is his passing percentage, completion percentage, has gone from 69% to 59%. So are they on the same page? It's still early in their season, but these guys can make it happen. Can they protect them? And Lafayette's going to have their work cut out with those two guys. Volker and Senstrom, you stop those two, you win the ball game.
They still have a pretty good stable of receivers, but certainly not up to the level that Mike was talking about last year. Colella, Barber, Hawkins, Mahoney, all of them have had good ball games, have had big catches. It's up to the Lafayette secondary certainly to control that. Defensively, it's their linebackers. They're terrific defense. I guess we look a little bit at the Columbia game. That was a 10-7 win by Princeton. Columbia's only 7 points came on an interception by a defensive lineman on the 2-yard line, and he walked into the end zone. So the defense is solid. Not quite sure how strong the offense is. Johnson, Perez, Nicholas are their linebackers. They're excellent.
Yeah, they are. They can run around. They've always played good defense. They're pretty vanilla defensively. You know, they run that 4-4. They run some 4-3. But they're going to make things difficult for you to run the football. So this is going to be a real test for our offensive line. It's going to be a test for Jamar is going to have to can he get those yards? He's averaging 120. Can he get him against this type of defense? Can he get him against those linebackers that can move? But this defense will come after you. They don't blitz a lot, but they play really good in the secondary. They change things up. They're going to disguise some things against the quarterback. So you know that they're going to come after us a little bit. up front with the front four. This is a good defense. And again, they don't have the big names that we've seen before, but collectively, they're a darn good group.
Yeah, when we play the Harvards and the Princetons, we always talk about the fact that they're just so physical. But I think now when teams play us, they're going to say the same thing. We are a very physical football team.
Yeah, we are. We're getting to a point now where I think John Troxell's talked about how much stronger we've gotten on both sides of the football. We're still young on the defensive side, but up front on the offensive line, we can move people, we can road great, we can get a double team going, and when you get Jamar behind that double team and you can't find him, he can find that gap and shoot. So this is a team that's gotten stronger, and I think we're getting to that level of where some of those Ivies were.
1 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Mike and I will be watching that one for sure. We invite you too to watch the Leopards, see if they can indeed win 4 ball games in a row and go to 5-1 and stop that Princeton winning streak. That's it for Behind the Mic. Make sure you look at Inside the Huddle. Mike will be looking at that running passing game of Princeton. Thanks for watching. I'm Gary. He's Mike. Come on back in 2 weeks. We have a bye week next week.